So it seems that in my I'm Not Proud to Be an American video, it got a lot of negative, I guess, backlash in the comments section. And I just want to explain that it's not me hating America, it's just where America has, where our flaws, I guess, stem from. And I was addressing mainly like the roots of like the systemic issues that this country faces among the general population. There were a lot of people in the comment section. A common trend was like, if you don't like America, why don't you get out? Like that seemed to be a very common, I guess, thing that some people would say, and that's actually very close-minded and honestly ignorant because what you're saying is, oh, America's perfect the way it is. I love the status quo, and if you change any bit of it, then fuck you. You need to get out. No, and it also shows that you've never had to deal with any issues such as like, oh, not being able to pay rent on time, not being able to afford any kind of um, urgent medical treatment. Anything that really involves money and finances, you've most likely never encountered, or maybe you're not a member of a minority. Maybe you haven't been systemically interrogated or treated differently by police because of how much melanin is in your skin. Um, but basically, what I'm saying is, I do like the country I live, but but it does need to be changed. It needs to work for everyone, not the corporate elites. So that's what I'm saying. Um, I am on the left, yes. So if you're hardcore on the right, if you're voting for Trump in 2020, you either shouldn't watch my videos when I talk about stuff like this, or, I mean, yeah, you either shouldn't watch, or I guess you can comment, saying that I'm like a communist swine, I'm, a government slave or pussy or, whatever. Like I'm not a real man. I'm not a real American because I don't believe in the Second Amendment and nothing else. Because that's another thing. I feel like a lot of people just, all they really care about is the Second Amendment, nothing else. So those people I have no sympathy for. But what I'm saying is, no, there's a lot of problems in this country. Like if you don't see that, I don't know what to tell you. And what I'm saying is, I really want to see change. I want to see change, real change made in the United States. I'm not saying that countries like Denmark, Sweden, Australia, Canada, Japan, South Korea, I'm not saying these countries are perfect. Of course not. They have issues with, say, um, their vetting system. When there was the European migrant crisis that went on in basically like a couple of years ago, and it's still somewhat going on, their vetting system was actually not nearly as good as ours. Like that's one thing I do like about the US is we our vetting system is actually really really good. When Trump says we need extreme vetting, that's actually bullshit because we already have it. And as a result, we don't really have a lot of terror attacks or really any. And if there are any, it's like there's like no death count, there's no it's usually attempted, there's never any actual like thing that unfolds. It does happen, but like not nearly as often as it does in Europe. So that's one thing that I think many Western European countries need to work on is they need to make to it so that people coming into their countries are there to you know contribute to society, live, and escape from the problems that you face back at home, and not bring jihad and shit like that. So like that, that's one problem they have. Another problem they have is like, for example, UK has a lot of knife crime. There's also, I would imagine there's, certain types of theft that goes on, not taxation. I'm not saying, oh, taxation is theft because that's bullshit too. And, there's issues of free speech they have over there. Like we had the Charlie Hebdo shootings where a magazine publication based in Paris satirized Islam. They also satirize like every other religion. They're basically doing the same job as, Seth MacFarlane, Trey Parker, Matt Stone of South Park, and other, comedy writers And it was essentially the same thing, and they were gunned down for it because these people were unwilling to accept the reality of free speech. And it also happened in the Netherlands in 2004 when Theo van Gogh, who I believe was a grandnephew, a relative of some sort of, the famous painter Vincent van Gogh, and he made a controversial film about the role of women in Islam, and he was assassinated for it by an extremist. And there's also been hits made out on Lars Vilks and Kurt Westergaard, um, two Scandinavian. I don't know if they're filmmakers or cartoonists, but they do something like that. And I think they made some kind of like controversial Islamic thing, and as a result, there's been like many like hits made out on them, many fatwas and by extremists of Islam and stuff like that. So my point is, everywhere in the world has their problems, but I'm addressing the ones in the U.S. that are a real fucking problem and are really like special and are really kind of distinct to our to where to the U.S. that might not be a problem in say Canada, the U.K., wherever. So I just been making this video just to address where I'm coming from and like address to some of you people that there's nothing wrong with this country and that if you don't like it, get the fuck out of here because uh, that's so stupid and mindless. I can't even tell you. Um, and yeah, just know where I'm coming from. I'm politically left. If you don't like that, I don't know what to tell you. But don't get triggered in the comments. Don't fucking threaten my life. Don't say, oh, go drink a bunch of rat poison or some shit. Okay, so just y'all can fuck off. Okay, that's all I'm saying. Y'all can fuck off. Okay, that's all.